Hello, it looks like I'm live now, so very, very welcome to the first of the live readings of Romeo and Juliet. For this one, I should be doing Act 1. Hoping this all works properly. I haven't quite done this before, so there we go. Okay, so yeah, the first act. Now, this starts off with the prologue. Seems very strange, basically, to have this kind of prologue at the beginning of a play, because basically it's a huge spoiler. It's telling the audience exactly what happened. Now, the reasons for this, probably that audiences of that time had never seen anything like this. Basically, they'll go to see a good comedy and eventually ending in a really happy marriage. But of course, in this play, big spoiler again, is that everyone dies, pretty much everyone anyway. So of course the audience would have been absolutely furious at this unless they'd been forewarned. So that's probably the reason why. Anyway, now we come on to Act 1 and Scene 1. And this kind of starts kind of very strangely again. We have basically servants here of houses of Capulet and Montague, and they have a bit of a fight. Why having the servants at the beginning? Probable reason, again, is just to really excite the audience. This was actually, or it is actually, quite a bawdy exchange between them. So, without further ado, I shall now go through them. I'll add in a few little notes where applicable, just to make sure that the storyline keeps on going. So, without further ado, here we go. Now, the prologue. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their lives, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2-hour traffic of our stage. The which of you with patience ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Act 1, Scene 1. Verona, a street in the morning, and Samson and Gregory armed. Samson first, right? Gregory, on my word, we'll not carry coals. No, for then we should be colliers. I mean, if we be in collar, we'll draw and while you live, draw your neck out of the collar. I strike quickly, being moved, but thou art not quickly moved to strike. Dog of the house of Montague moves me. To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away. A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montagues. That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall. 'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall. The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men. 'Tis all one, I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids and cut off their heads. Oh, the heads of the maids? Aye, the heads of the maids, all their maiden heads, take in that what sense thou will. They must take it in sense that feel it. Oh, me, they should feel while I'm able to stand, and 'tis known I'm a pretty piece of flesh. 'Tis well thou art not fish, if thou hadst been poor John. Oh, Abraham and another Montague servant enter, armed. Draw thy tool, here comes two of the houses of Montagues. The Montagues. My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee. I'll turn thy back and run. Fear me not. No, marry, I fear thee. Let us take the law on our side. Let them begin. I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list. Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it. Abraham. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Is the law on our side if I say I? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir? Quarrel, sir? No, sir. But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you. No, better. Well, sir, say better. Here comes one of master's kinsmen, and in comes Tybalt. Yes, better, sir. You lie. Draw, if you be men. Gregory, remember thy washing blow. In comes Benvolio. Oh, part fools, put up your swords. You know not what you do. Tybalt, what? Art thou drawn amongst these artless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio. Look upon thy death. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell. All Montagues and thee, haven't thee, coward? Oh, in comes the constable. Right, clubs, bills, and partisans, strike, beat them down. Down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues. Oi! In comes Capulet, Lady Capulet, Montague, and Lady Montague. Capulet. What noise is this? Give me my long sword. Oh, a crutch, a crutch. Why call you for a sword? My sword, I say. Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me. Now we have Montague. Thou villain Capulet, hold me not, let me go. Oh, thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe. Now the prince. Rebellious enemies, subject enemies to peace, profaners of this name are stained steel. Will they not hear what, ho, you men, you beast, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins? On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word. By the old Capulet and Montague have thrice disturbed the quiet of our street, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. Aye, further decision to old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart. Who set this ancient quarrel now approach? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began? Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them, in this instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my eyes, he swung about his head and cut the winds with nothing northward ill, hissed him in scorn, while we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and fought on part and part, till the prince came who parted either part. Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray. Madam, an hour before the worship's sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by mine own, which then most sought where must not be found, being one too many by my weary self, pursued my human, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned, who gladly fled from me. Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the furthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aura's bed away from the light still home, my heavy son, and private in his chamber bends himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove. Now, Benvolio, oh, my noble uncle, do you know the cause? I never know it, nor can learn of him. Have you importuned him by any means? Both by myself and many other friends, but he is his own affection's counsellor, and as to himself, I will not say how true. But to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with an envious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leash to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the sun. But could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as no. See where he comes. See, please you, step aside. I know his grievances will be much denied. I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away. Now, Benvolio, to Romeo. Good morrow, cousin. Is the day so young? But news struck 9. Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast? It were. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? Not having that which having makes them short. In love? Out of love? Out of her favour where I am in love. Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? You tell me not, for I have heard it all. It's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, of anything of nothing first create, of every light and a serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seen forms. Father of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still work in sleep, that is not what it is. This love I feel thee, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? No, cuz I'd rather weep. Good heart, at what? At thy good heart's oppression. Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears, raging, lovers what it else, a madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz. Oh, soft. I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tut, I have lost myself, and I am not here. This is not Romeo, he's some other where. Oh, tell me in sadness, who is it that you love? What, shall I groan and tell thee? But sadly, tell me who. A sick man in sadness makes his will. A word ill urged to do one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. I am so near when I supposed you loved. A right good marksman, and she's fair, I love. A right fair mark, fair cuz as soon as hit. Well, in that hit you miss, she'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's sweet charger's bow she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bid thee encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lip to saint seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies with beauty dies her store. Oh. Then she hath sworn that she will still love thee chaste. She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste, for beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath sworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, that I live to tell it now. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, will examine other beauties. 'Tis the way to call hers exquisite in question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasures of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read her pass that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Now we come to Act 1, Scene 2. Now, this is in a street where Capulet meets Paris for the first time, well, as we know in this play, and of course a servant. The comedic aspect of that which will become obvious in a moment. I'll just have a quick drink, so excuse me. Mama. Right, Act 1, Scene 2. So Capulet to Paris. But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace. Honourable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit? But saying over what I have said before, my child is yet but a stranger in this world. She have not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride. Younger than she, a happy mother's maid, and too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed up all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I've invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night, earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well appear April on the hill. Of limping winter treads, even such delight among fresh female buds shall you this night, Fennel, inherit at my house. Here all see all, and like her most whose merit shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me now to the servant, giving him the paper. Go, sir, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written here, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker shall meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons out whose names here written, and can never find what names the writing person here hath writ. I must to the learned.
Benvolio and Romeo enter.
In good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another burning, one pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be helped by backward turning, one desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to the eye, and the rank poison of the old mote die. Your plaintain, love, is excellent for that. For what, I pray thee? For your broken shin. Why, Romeo, art thou mad? Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Oh, shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented. Oh, good evening, good fellow.
Good evening. I pray, sir, can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learnt it without book. But I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, and if I know the letters and the language.
You say honesty. Rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, Count Anselmi and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Petrovio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wives and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, and Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
No, I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great, rich Capulet. And if you not be one of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
And he exits. Thank goodness. Antonio. At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with an attainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. When the devout religion of mine eyes maintains such falsehood, then turns tears to fires, and those who often drowned could never die. Transparent heretics, be burned for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun, never saw her match since the first world begun. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I shall show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well now, so that seems best. Oh, I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendour of mine own. Now they both exit, and we now come to Act 1, Scene 3, at the Capulet house, where Lady Capulet and the nurse and Juliet have a conversation about Juliet's marriage. Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Oh no, by my maidenhead, a 12-year-old I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? Oh, God forbid, where's that girl? What Juliet? How now? Who calls? Your mother. Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter, nurse. Give a leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I remember me, thou'st hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Oh, faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She is not 14.
I lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen, say be it spoken, I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it now to Lammastide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Oh, even or odd, all days in the year. Come, Lammas Eve at night, she shall be 14. Susan and she, God rest her Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me, but as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Mary, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years as she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year upon that day, for I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dovewurf's wall, My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug, and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. Shake, quoth the dove-house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years, for then she could stand alone. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her bow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou feel upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wits. Wilt thou not, Jule? And by my holy dame, the pretty bitch, crying and said, Aye, to see now how a jest shall come about. I warrant, if I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jule? Quoth he, and pretty fool it stinted and said, Aye. Oh, enough of this. I pray thee hold thy peace. Yes, madam, yet I cannot choose but laugh. To think I should leave crying and say, Aye. And yet, I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone. A perilous knock, and it cried bitterly, Yea, quoth my husband, false upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou comes to aid. Wilt thou not, Jule? It stinted and said, Aye. And stint'st thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say aye. Peace, I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that ever I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish. Murray, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married? It is an honour that I dreamed not of. Oh, an honour! Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hadst sucked wisdom from thy teat. Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus, then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love. Oh, a man, young lady. Lady, such a man. Oh, as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax. Verona's summer have not such a flower. Nay, he's a flower in faith, a very flower. What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with your beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies. Find written in the margent of his eyes this precious book of love, this unbound lover. To beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much fried. For fair without, the fair within to hide, that book in many's eyes doth share the glory that in gold claps locks in the golden story. So, shall you share all that he doth possess by having him, making yourself no less? Oh, no less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men. Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love? I'll look to like if looking liking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eyes. Engage that your consent gives strength to make it fly. Madam, your guests are come, supper served up. You called my young lady, asked for the nurse curse in the pantry, and everything extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight. Oh. We follow thee. Juliet, the count he stays. Oh, go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days. Now, we move on to Act 1, Scene 4. A street, that very same night.
As you know, this story does progress very quickly. So we have Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio, amongst others, with torches and a drum. Romeo to Benvolio. What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse? Or shall we on without apology? The date is out of such prolixity. We have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted brow of laugh, scaring the ladies like a crow-keeper. No, without but frankly. Oh, but let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure, and be gone. Give me a torch, I am not for this ambling, being but heavy. I will bear the light. In comes Mercutio. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. Oh, not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move. You are a lover, borrow Cupid's wings, and soar with them above a common bound. I am too sore, and pierced with his shaft, to soar with the light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound. A pitch above dull, under love's heavy burden do I sink. And to sink in it, should you burden love, to great oppression for a tender thing. Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like a fawn. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I? What curious eye doth coat deformities? Here are the brittle bowels shall blush for me. Look, come, knock and enter, and no sooner in it, but every man betake him to his legs. A torch for me, let wanton lights of heat tickle the senses' rushes with their heels. For I am proverb with a grand fire phased, I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was never so fair, and I am done. Done's the mouse. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire. That's up the ears, come, we burn daylight, ho. Nay, that's not so. I mean, sir, in delay we waste our lights in vain, like lamps by days. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that care, once in our 5 wits. And we mean well in going to this mass, but 'tis not wit to go. Why, may one ask? But I dreamt a dream last night. Yeah, and so did I. Well, what was yours? That dreamers often lie. In bed asleep while they do dream things true. Oh, then I seen Queen Mab had been with you. Queen Mab? What's she? She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than the agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies, athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spiners' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams. Her whip, a cricket, cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner, a small grey coated gnat, no half so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid, her is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. Time out of mind the fairies' coachmakers, and in that state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love over courtiers' knees who dream on the courtiers straight, that over layers' fingers who straight dream on foes, over ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which off the angry mad with blisters plagues, because with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over a courtier's nose, and then dreams she of smelling out a suit, and sometimes comes she with a little tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes he driveth over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades of hell's 5 fathoms deep, and then too drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and losing their frighted swear a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This This is the very man that plats the manes of the horses in the night and bakes the airflocks over foul, sluttish hairs which once untangled much at fortune bows. That is the hag where maids lie on their backs that pressure them and lend them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she! Peace. Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing. True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, that woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-dropping south. This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late. I fear too early for my mind that gives some consequences yet hanging in the stars, shall bitterly begin his fearful date with his night's revels and expire the term of a despised love closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course to direct my sail, on, lusty gentlemen, I strike drum. Okay, I'm just going to move this a little bit because I think the sun got in. That's better. This is all part of the good thing about live theatre, folks. Okay, so now we come to Act 1, Scene 5. This is at the Capulet's house. And this scene is important because, of course, this is the very first time that Romeo and Juliet meet. Okay. Okay, is that okay for product placement? Yeah, good. Excellent. Right. So, Act 1, Scene 5, the Capulet house, 2 servants, musicians and guests. So now the first servant to the second servant. Where's Potpan that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie in all 1 or 2 men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Away with the joint stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate, could thou save me a piece of marchpan, and as thou lovest me, let in Susan, Grindstone, and Neil, Antony, and Potwan. Second servant, exit. Third servant, who enters with another servant.
Aye, boy, ready.
You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber. Well, we cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, boys, be brisk a while, and the longer liver take all. They all go, thank goodness. And now we come to Lord and Lady Capulet, cousin Capulet, Nurse Juliet and Tybalt, and a few more other guests. Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplayed with corns will have a bout with you. Ha ha, my mistresses, which if you all were now denied to dance, she could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A whole give room and foot it, girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. At this moment, Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio enter, wearing masks. Now, just a little note here is that this wasn't really a masked ball, but as was the custom of the time, if you go to a gatecrasher party, you had to wear masks. Of course, that singles you out as a gatecrasher, but just go along with it. Okay, right. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, good time, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long's it now since last yourself and I were in a mask? By a lady, 30 years. What, man, 'tis not so much, 'tis since the nuptial of Lucentio, come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years, and then we masked. 'Tis more, his son is elder, sir, his son is 30. Will you tell me that? His son was but a war 2 years ago. What lady's that doth enwrinch the hand of yonder knight? I know not, sir. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady over her fellow shows. The measure's done, I'll watch her place a stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. This, by his voice, should be a Montague, says Tybalt. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin. Why, how now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so? Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is ever come in spite to vaunt scorn at our solemnity this night. Young Romeo, is it? 'Tis he, that villain Romeo. Content thee, gentle cousin, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore, be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which of thou respect. Show a fair present, and put off these frowns and ill-beseeming semblance for a feast. It fits. With such a villain as a guest, I'll not endure him. He shall be endured. What? Goodman boy, I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here, or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests? You will set cock-a-hoop? You'll be the man? Why, uncle, 'tis a shame. Go to, you're a saucy boy, 'tis so indeed. This trick may chance to scathe you, I know what. You must contrary me, marry, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. You are Prince Cox, go, be quiet, or more light. I'll make you quiet. What, cheerly, my heart? Patience perforce with wilful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall. Now, Romeo takes Juliet's hand. Forgive me for this bit. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Oh, good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. Have not saints lips and holy palmers too? Ay, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. Oh, then, dear saint, lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though grant for players' sake. Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Whoa! Now this is where he kisses her. Thus, from my lips, by thine, my sin is purged. Oh, then have my lips the sin that they have took. Sin from my lips, oh, trespass sweetly past. Give me my sin again, and the kiss again. Oh, you kiss by the buck. Madam, your mother craves a word with you. Juliet goes. What is her mother? Marry, bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise, and a virtuous. I nursed her daughter that she talked with all. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks. Oh, is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account. My life is my foe's debt. Where begone? The sport is at the best. Aye, so I fear. The more is my unrest. All kind of start to exit, but Juliet and the nurse. So Cabinet. Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Is it even so? Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on, let's to bed. Aye, sir, by my fire, it waxes late. I'll to my rest. Juliet to the nurse. No, come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman? Here, who is it? The son. The son and heir of old Tiberio. What's he that now is going out of door? Marry? That I think be young Petruchio. What's he that follows there? That would not dance. I know not. Go ask his name. The nurse goes. Oh, if he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed. Back comes the nurse. His name is Romeo and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy. My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of a love, so 'tis to me that I must love a loathed enemy. Oh, what's this? What's this? A rhyme I learned even now of one I danced withal. Juliet! Oh, and on. Come, let's away. The strangers all are gone. And they all exit, and here endeth Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet. Join me at the same time tomorrow when we will then start Act 2. If you have any questions about it, if you're, say, studying for an exam or something, then do put them down and I shall certainly endeavour to give an answer as best I can. So, on that note, I shall now bid you all farewell until tomorrow and Act 2 of the Verona Crisis. Bye! It will go eventually, I can assure you. And bye.